Dr. Kiran here. Welcome to Books to Boardrooms. In today's episode, we are going to have Mr. Kishore Tharmarajan, the CEO and founder of SEO Sook. He is also a social media influencer with more than 100,000 fans in LinkedIn. Kishore, welcome to the today's show. Thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the show and happy to share some of my insights with your audience.
So you are a social media influencer too, and then you have a social media agency. So how does it? It's part of your been working in this area for a long period of time.
That's right. Yeah, I used to work in the advertising industry in Sachi, and when I saw the transition happening into the digital space, I actually moved over into the digital space, and I was working with HSBC as digital analytics manager, and that's how I started my journey into the digital space.
So you started HSBC as a digital marketing in charge,
That's right. Yes, I
and
did.
in UAE.
That's right. Yes.
And how long you've been working for someone else, like in the industry? How long you've been working?
For around 20 years, and finally I decided to start my own agency in 2016 called SEO Sook. I kind of got bored with my lifestyle as an employee, and I was always dynamic. I wanted to do something new, fresh, exciting, and so that's how I transitioned into an entrepreneur from an employee.
So when you thought about being an entrepreneur, did you had multiple ideas coming to your mind that which one you want to start, or you were very clear that no, I am excellent in social media, so I'm going to start in the digital media platform.
Yeah, so I had an insight on one particular day. I wrote an article on LinkedIn, and in those days, LinkedIn wasn't open for content marketing. So I was one of the few people who had access to writing articles. I wrote an article, got a call from a company in JLT, and this was while I was working in the company as an employee. So I went over for that meeting. In that meeting, I got a contract and I got a check in my hand for that company which I was working for. So I thought if I can write one article and get a check, probably I should start a business of my own and I could be picking up hundreds of checks. So that was the day when I decided to become an entrepreneur.
And how long it took you to move out of your industry job and start something by your own?
So I had 6 months left in my contract. So as soon as the contract was over, I said goodbye to my job and I started an agency of my own.
And where is your agency based out of? Is Dubai or Abu Dhabi?
It's based in Abu Dhabi in 2454, which is the Abu Dhabi Media City.
And you handle the entire UAE, the customer base?
We have customers in Singapore, in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE.
So when you were working with HSBC and then you did a posting and then it attracted the customer attention and then you got the work. So did you see any real gap in the market which you thought that let me open my agency so that I can fill the gap? Is it, you identified any gap, or it just because of that check which triggered you to start your business?
That's a great question, and definitely there is a gap, and that gap still exists. Social media, although it looks like a crowded space from the outside, it's actually a virgin territory, if you ask me, because there's lack of great content. By content, I mean things which you put out, which can make people stop in their tracks and make them think about you. So it's very difficult to create content like that. It's easy to do motivational quotes, you can post images and things like that, but it's very difficult to create content which makes people stop and think about you as a brand, and then they want to call you, meet you, and do business with you. So the opportunity is huge, if you ask me, in both the English media and in the Arabic media, to put out very strong content and attract as many clients as you wish.
What are the multiple mediums which you promote in social media? Because social media got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google. So which is, what are the mediums you target? What is your strength?
So our strength is typically in text, because text seems to be making people think, and that is the kind of the USP that we have, wherein we are able to make people stop and think. So words seem to have that kind of power, but it doesn't stop anyone from converting those words into video or into PDFs or into some other formats, which can also be interesting. The chief challenge is to identify things that can make people stop and think.
So, but what are the mediums you are having? You are in all the digital media platforms you are in.
Yeah, so the medium is dictated by the audience. So for clients who are in the B2B space, they are probably targeting CTOs, CIOs, CXOs, and CEOs, decision makers who are predominantly on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn and a text combination on LinkedIn works fine. But we have other clients. For example, we work with clients who are dealing with South Korean lipsticks and skincare, for which the audience are younger people, females, who are looking more at Instagram, for example. So obviously the content has to be there on Instagram. It has to be videos. It has to be nice images, colorful, and it has to sync with their aspirations.
So it's purely based on the product and the target customer you decide which medium is best for them.
That's right. Yeah, the customer has control over what media we need to use because everything is oriented towards the customer.
There's a conception that either there are some mediums like you have to be present in everyone, every media, or some people say no, you be focused on either LinkedIn if it is a very B2B, or you only be in Instagram and Facebook. Is there any rule like that, or it's open for the customers or your clients' decision?
So it really depends upon what kind of analytics you're using. So there are three very strong analytics platforms that anyone can use. One is Google Analytics, which everyone knows about, and then we have WebTrends, which is being used by banks. So banks require higher safety grades, so they go for WebTrends. And there is also Omniture, which is being used by some banks which don't trust Google Analytics or WebTrends. So these are the three platforms which anyone who is trying to take advantage of the digital space has to be experienced with. And when you look into analytics, you can now you kind of get the entire story of how your content is performing, how your ads are performing, and where your ROAS is coming from. And once you crack the ROAS, it's easier to get to the ROI. And the ROI is where we are strong at. So we have positioned ourselves as the first 700% ROI agency in the region, and that's where we are getting all the business from.
I think I've seen that in your website. You mentioned a 700% ROI. In most of the customers, I mean, when you say 700% ROI, what is the time frame you tell the customer that this is when you will get a 700% ROI? Because social media is very slow. It takes time. It's an organic way of doing things also. So how you ensure that the commitment what you are mentioned in the website, it's a promise, 700%. How you deliver that?
That's a very interesting question, and it directly comes from the financial world. So we have actually crossed over into the financial world, and in the financial world, if you have to get 700% ROI on your investments, there is a time frame attached to that automatically. Similarly, with advertising, there is a time frame attached to that, and it's actually based on the industry that you're operating in. Typically, if you have a high transaction value, it's easier to get your ROI. It can be as early as 3 to 6 months. But if you have a transaction value which is quite low, it would take up to 12 months. But it's guaranteed to get 700% ROI within 12 months. We have so far never met any client who has worked with us for 12 months and who hasn't generated 700% ROI.
So you say that you commit to the customer that while at the time of they call for the request proposal, they ask for an ROI and by what percentage, by when. So that it really should help you to come out of a lot of competition, right? You can reduce your competition because not everybody will be able to commit to that type of an ROI.
That's right. Absolutely right. It helps us to create a blue ocean of our own because, as you know, the digital space is a red ocean. So creating a blue ocean where you can be identified with the USP and where you can stand out from the competition is extremely important for the business, and it does bring us all the business that we require.
Okay. And how is this market, the UAE market? What is the digital penetration of the consumers?
It's very high. People have a very high digital awareness. As per stats, as you know, almost 100% of the population are reachable either through Google or through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse, you name it, any channel out there, you can access almost all the people. But the challenge is how do you access the people on a proper budget and how do you get an ROI from that? That is actually the challenging question which has to be addressed.
So if you look at the traditional spending of a brand, brands tend to spend a lot on above the line advertisement, especially in newspaper and TV channels and billboards. And there's a trend of now moving towards social media. One, of course, they see that there's a clear ROI calculation. You can see the impact. You can get a lot of analytics. So is you are seeing that shift? Is traditional TV business going down? So what is your opinion on that?
Yeah, definitely. All media which are not cannot be measured on analytics will definitely be will be going into the wrong end of the media basket. But the good thing about TV is that because TV has become smart TV, it's very much measurable to see how long people have seen your ads, especially because you have Google involved with their Chrome, and all of this is measurable on analytics. So smart TV is has saved TV per se. So TV is not going away; it's being measured. Same thing with print. Now, if you look at all the traditional newspapers, they have all gone online. Same with magazines, and if it's online, it's measurable on analytics. So it has changed or it has morphed into digital, but it's not going away.
So you do social media for promoting other brands. How you promote SEO Souk? How do you get more customers?
So SEO Souk has got its prime vehicle as text on LinkedIn. So I post every day, reaching thousands of people on a daily basis, and we wait for do a post and we wait for phone calls, and we don't primarily do anything else. But the caveat is that the text is so strong that it's making people stop and think and take up the phone and call you, which is not an easy task. And it would also fall into the remit of content marketing, but it's not content marketing that usually what people are exposed to.
So LinkedIn is your way of getting more customers. But do you face any real challenges in terms of the way market is going, the impact of COVID, and the whole landscape of marketing budgets getting cut in this market? So how are you facing this scenario?
Definitely, that is a global phenomenon, and similar patterns are being felt all across media, and same thing has happened with us. The only difference is that because most of our customers were at a very high ROI, they had enough cash flows, and they knew exactly who their customers are, where they are hiding, and what messages they are reacting to. They didn't feel the impact as much as the a traditional advertiser did. So they are far ahead of the crowd in terms of getting an ROI as well as standing out from their competition. So most of these clients that we have, their competitors are clueless on what we are doing for them. So it has been a major advantage for them, and they were cushioned actually from the impact of the COVID to a very large extent.
That's good for you. See, I have been meeting a lot of people from different industries. So I met somebody from real estate, somebody from fashion, somebody from supply chain logistics, even media, TV channels. And when I asked them the question, what are the medium which they use to promote their brand, they all told about social media. So if I may ask you, so how you segment or how you target your customer? Do you have any specific segmentation that I am only focusing on B2B customers who are into any particular line of business, or for you, anyone, any industry is fine because you have an expertise to do manage that? So are you focusing on a specific industry, or you're open for all industries?
So that's a great question. And in our case, it stems from a very different space. So we are looking at the transaction value of our customer as our prime indicator of whether we want to work with them or not. So our top competitors have very high transaction value. So one of our clients who is into software space, they are selling their softwares for $100,000, and that's the transaction value. So it's very easy to get an ROI for such clients than it is for someone who is, say, selling groceries, and your transaction value is 50 dirhams. Probably your net is 30% of that, and now you have an acquisition cost to take care of, which shows that getting an ROI in that segment is going to be very tough. So we tend to stay away from that. So coming back to your question, our targeting is based on the transaction value of our customers, and everything that we are doing is trying to attract the marketing directors or decision makers of such companies which are involved in high transactions on the digital space, and the content that we create is oriented towards them. I guess it's a little bit of an intense answer, but that's the reality.
And do you see COVID definitely helped people who were in the digital space? You know, you talk about Netflix increasing the viewership, and anybody who's in the online increasing their viewership. So have you seen a sudden change even in that respect, where people are spending now more in digital media and people are having more impressions? Did you see any change in the views, the impressions in the social media platform during the last 1.5 years?
Definitely. So people have started using online space much more, especially if you look at e-commerce. So e-commerce has gone up by a very large extent. So that is an area of high growth. Similarly, with online events and meetings and so forth, they have all increased. So people are spending more time, and the opportunity is more to grab their attention. And it all boils down to analytics. So this is the area where actually brands need to be spending a lot of their time, analytics. But since analytics looks very techy, it's not an area that gets a lot of attention. Everyone's attention is at the wrong spectrum of digital, which is social media, which has actually got the lowest ROI in terms of actual cash coming into a business. But because it's glamorous and it looks good, and you have a lot of motion and colors and things like that, as human beings, we are attracted to the glamour of social media. Whereas actually, smart brands are concentrating on the non-smart segment of social media, of online media, which is Google Analytics.
So Google Analytics give a clear idea to the consumer or the clients at where they're spending and how much they're spending. So what will be your advice to people who really are not yet moved into social media, or people are already in the social media? What are the tips you can give them, especially to ensure that their ROI is ensured, or covered?
So before we actually get into social media, I would recommend them to really study their customer and trying to understand the challenges that the customer is going through, as well as the aspirations that the customer has, and trying to find a connection between your brand and their aspirations. So once that bridge is created, the marketing message actually comes out of that bridge, and you obviously need to have a USP to make your message go further. So once all of these things are cracked, then it's a matter of finding the right channel to use your message. And that is where probably Google comes in as more effective. And secondly, you would be going into social media. So as you can see, I didn't answer your question through social media, because the right answer is that social media is going to be at the end of the whole process.
Whoever is watching this video, I'm sure you all must got a very in-depth knowledge about social media and digital media marketing. We will be having further such videos to give you more insights about a different industry in the coming session. Thanks a lot.